Ncaa Chester here for NCAA Digital. Today I am joined by Shannon Scovel, our NCAA.com wrestling reporter. She's joining me to discuss the wrestling season and kind of preview what we've got coming up. So Shannon, as of right now, what is the state of the wrestling season in the midst of COVID-19? What do you know about the NCAA tournament as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're off and running with the 2021 wrestling season. Wrestling started January 2nd, and we're going to have some Big Ten action on Friday. So things are moving ahead with great force, and we're all very excited to see some of the great action that will be happening this winter. The season's going to look a little bit different this year because we won't have some of those major tournaments that you see in the late fall, early winter, such as Midlands or the Southern Scuffle or Cliff Key in Las Vegas. So the wrestlers competing this year are really going to have to maximize their dual schedule and get everything out of competing against their own conference opponents, leading into the conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament, which is scheduled to be occurring in mid-March in St. Louis, Missouri.
Is there anything else that's going to be different? Can fans be in attendance? What is the deal with that?
Yeah, so fan decisions are not made by the NCAA, but by the schools themselves. And we don't know exactly what that will look like for the NCAA tournament at the moment. March is a really interesting time of the year just with the development of COVID and the vaccine. But we're hopeful that these athletes will have a great experience regardless. And I know a lot of schools that have already put out calls to create cardboard cutouts for the athletes, so at least they feel like they have familiar faces in the stands. But so that's the situation with the fans, and I think a lot of it is still dependent on where we are with the vaccine and with the state of the pandemic in March.
Yeah, and let's get to the fun stuff. Who are some wrestlers and teams to watch out for this season, and who are you most excited to watch?
Yeah, the big story in 2021 is the Iowa Hawkeyes. They ended 2020 ranked number 1, and we're hoping to go into the tournament and claim a team title, anchored behind two-time NCAA champion Spencer Lee. So Spencer's a senior now. He was just presented with the Hodge Trophy for the most dominant wrestler in 2020. And he's definitely hungry to bring a team title back to Iowa. The team is bringing back 10 All-Americans this year, so they'll have a stacked roster. And the most interesting team that Iowa will face this year is Penn State, the 2019 defending NCAA champions. Penn State has just an incredible dynasty, so to see them take on this Iowa team that's been building and building and building over the last couple of years will be really exciting. And that's going to be a can't-miss duel on February 12th.
Okay, and are there any other big matchups to keep an eye on that could be really intriguing?
Yeah, the Big Ten as a whole is going to be an exciting conference to watch. They're only competing against each other this year, so you won't see Iowa take on Iowa State or Oklahoma State wrestle anybody from the Big Ten. So I know a lot of fans are going to be missing those tournaments or those duels and those kind of legacy rivalries, but we're going to see some great rivalries across different conferences this year. One duel I'm particularly excited about is North Carolina State and UNC, and I watched these teams battle it out in Reynolds last year. It was just incredible. The energy in that arena was wild, and so I'm really excited to see what comes out of the ACC this year. Virginia Tech will have a great team, anchored behind NCAA champion Mekhi Lewis at 165 pounds. So you're going to see some great action in the ACC. You're going to see some great action in the Big 12, the Pac-12, the MAC, just all across the conferences this year. Great wrestlers to watch. Lots of returning All-Americans who want a chance to end up on the podium in 2021.
All right, and this year is a little different in that the 2021 Olympic trials are this summer. So who are the NCAA contenders, and will it have any impact on the NCAA season?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. The NCAA season is going to be a great way for some of these college guys to get themselves prepared for the Olympic trials, which are going to be stacked this year, just like they always are. Some guys to keep an eye out on, of course, are Iowa's Spencer Lee at 57 kilograms, Minnesota's Gable Stevenson at 125 kilograms. He had an incredible off-season, I suppose, the pandemic during the summer. He wrestled a lot of exhibition matches, beating world team member Nick Wizdowski most recently December 4th and 5th at the RTC Cup. So keep your eye out on Gable Stevenson in the heaviest weight division, and keep your eye out on Spencer Lee in the lightest division. Virginia Tech's Mekhi Lewis will also be a contender. So there's lots of great Olympic hopefuls in the college season this year. And then there's some former college athletes that are definitely going to be contending for those spots as well. So the NCAA has proven to be a great pipeline for these college wrestlers.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Thank you so much, Shannon, for taking your time and joining me today to preview some wrestling content.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.